direct to you and in your face. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Well, he's produced 5 or 6 big films I can think of that have had incalculable effect out there on the web, like America Under Siege. The list just goes on and on. In Plain Sight, Beyond Treason, Washington, You're Fired. His film about the big bubble, about the economy. We sell that at Infowars.com. But up on screen at Infowars.com, we have a headline article, William Lewis Camp FEMA, now available at Infowars.com. And I'm telling you, this is William Lewis's most powerful, hard-hitting film. And I consulted on it. As you notice, it says featuring. I'm the first person featured, which I'm proud to be featured in this. Going over all the facts, going over the evidence, the real camps, the congressional record, where they are. Not all the government straw men or fake camps, they go point out. Alex Jones, John Statmiller, Catherine Blish, I believe you pronounce it, Michael Bagnerick, Chuck Baldwin, Constitution Party presidential candidate, very credible, and a lot of others. And it's Camp FEMA. It ships the 18th of September. So about 18 days from now, I think William is going to, let us all a few days before, because we're one of the big places to get it at Infowars.com. Start shipping it so folks get it on the 18th or around the 18th on DVD, DVD premiere. Have viewing parties. Show it to people. We can stop them if they're able to see this film, because it shows how they're introducing it, how they're selling it, how the camps are good and for your safety and a wonderful thing. We also have it comboed up with a new film just released today, New World Order on DVD, that I'm the main person in and also consulted on. This on DVD with a whole bunch of extras, a giant group of extras. It's a film in its own right as well, so you definitely want to get New World Order. All of this is available at Infowars.com today or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. Now, for the next hour and 50 minutes, we're joined by William Lewis. Coming up in the last hour, Gary Franchi, the producer, joins us. They traveled all over the country to real FEMA camps, talked to congressmen about FEMA camps. It's just an amazing film. And I didn't talk to William before the show, but I'm going to find out during a break if there's a clip or two in the film that he thinks we should play here today, not just the trailers. But William, very exciting. And I just want to say, great job on Camp FEMA.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, and thanks for having me on. You had a large part in making Camp FEMA, so don't forget to thank yourself, and I thank you as well. And I think that once people get a chance to see this, they're going to be coming back to you for some more information. This was a million different pieces that we had to whittle down to about 1,000 and put together. So obviously, everything that all of our guests said in the documentary when we were shooting didn't make it in there, but I think that you'll notice you and John Statmiller, Catherine Blish, a couple of others there, Baldwin, Badnerick. There were several people that we gave kind of special treatment to because you guys really are on the forefront of fighting the New World Order and really talking about.
Yeah, I've got to say, Statmiller, I've never really seen him do TV. He comes across really good on camera. So, I mean, again, the film is. You want to hand something to somebody and say, here's the proof of the FEMA camps. You want to give something to Glenn Beck or go to these tea parties. This is it. Now, I know you're mass producing it right now. And we've already gotten some in, but we're going to get the big group in, in about a week and a half or so. When can I start shipping these so people get them on the 18th? Or, William, will we be shipping these on the 18th?
Well, it really depends on the manufacturer, and we've gotten good news that they're ahead of schedule, so you may actually be able to ship those out a little bit ahead of time. I can't guarantee it right at this point. I've got to wait a little bit further along in production so that I know exactly what the ship date is. But, you guys are getting a special drop shipment right to your location, so you might probably have those a couple of days ahead of everybody else. I don't see any problems in selling them early or shipping them out early or doing any of that. No,
you've always done that. You've got, is it 5 or 6 films under your belt?
This is 7.
7. So, established filmmaker. First thing you ever did is you contacted me when I was making films of my own and said, hey, I'd like to come work with you. And I said, hey, it's me and my wife and one other guy. Sorry, I don't have the money to hire you. But I'm glad I didn't have the money to hire you because you're off on your own. That's what we need is lots of great people out making their own films. And, William, I'm telling you, it's not just that I'm in this film. I think you'd asked me a few times to be in others, and I was too busy. I'm in this because I didn't have the time to make a FEMA camp film. I advised, I consulted. You just did an incredible job, and you've really knocked it out of the park on this one. All the films were great. I mean, look, folks, Camp FEMA is a real accomplishment. This has got to be seen. I haven't asked you this, though. Where are you about people making copies if they don't sell it? I know I've tried to go buy my own films or sell them on Amazon. We're about to start that, and I can't because people claim they're their films, and so I'm having to now write them letters and say, you can't sell my films on Amazon because they're claiming that they own my films. So you can get into trouble doing that. But how is it going to work? Kind of a blind eye of folks who are handing these out to people? Because I want this film to go supernova on the streets, William.
Yeah, I understand. And, we haven't put it on the website yet, and this is mainly because we just don't have the funds to make the duplications yet. But as soon as we start getting them coming in, we'll be able to offer really inexpensive, Patriot packs where you can get 10 or 100 of these things at a time at a very good discount. And, we hope to kind of go that way, the way Aaron Russo did his release. So I think this will probably be the best way. If you get a copy of the DVD, you're welcome to duplicate it for yourself and your immediate family members. That's not a problem at all. Never.
William, I've got a copy of the film coming up. Just start thinking about it now during the break. Tell me so we can play a minute or two clip a couple times. Tell me a good spot. I mean, there's a lot of good spots here. Maybe when we're introducing the modern FEMA camps, a clip or two that we can play of the film for the first time for people here today. But for new listeners who don't know about the FEMA camps, tell folks about your journey, why you made the film. Obviously, Glenn Beck was saying 6 months ago it wasn't real. I know that spurred some of it. What the film covers, what you chronicle in Camp FEMA.
Well, this journey began over 10 years ago, back when I was, just beginning to start learning about searching on the Internet for these type of things, roughly 1995 or 6. And, back then, even then, the information you could find on FEMA camps on the Internet, and they weren't called FEMA camps, but, internment camps or concentration camps in America, those type of things were readily available. There was a lot of information on it, but they coincided with a lot of really bad information, like, things that we couldn't necessarily prove, such as they're being shipped with 40,000 guillotines to Air Force bases across the country at underground sites, et cetera, et cetera. And although I don't have, a problem researching those types of things and putting them into a documentary if I can prove them, we couldn't prove any of that stuff. That's why I say there was a million things that we had to whittle down to about 1,000. What's credible? What can we prove? That's why this documentary is so unique, because there's nothing in it that can in any way be disproved and knock a hole in something else. The entire argument that is laid out, when people see this for the first time, they're going to, for the first time, realize that it's no longer an Internet rumor. It never has been. All right, but, the whole process of getting here, Gary and I teamed up on this about a year and a half ago, just shooting footage and collecting everything we needed. This is the first time we've had actors in a production. So Gary's niece, Christina Reese, plays our young victim. And I think this is kind of a different emotional catch to this particular documentary, which is why I think a lot of people are going to really get into it. It's the most scary documentary that I've ever made, and not just because of the subject matter, but because of the way we laid it out. We're, obviously trying to set that tone that this is very serious, and we don't let up. We don't even start giving out solutions and things that you can do about this until probably, I'd say, is the last 15 or 20 minutes of the documentary. And it really is a journey down the dark side of government and where this is not likely to head, but where this is going, with the legislation that we're talking about that legitimizes these FEMA camps, and the mindset of our leaders in Washington showing the legislation that they want to pass that demonizes people like you and me for simply speaking out about government policy. This is the mindset of of our
That's right. You
leaders
can't just cover FEMA camps. You've got to show all the other legislation, the attacks on free speech, the government saying our number one threat is gun owners and veterans, and we need to arrest them, and the police pulling veterans over and Ron Paul supporters. We just had a lady last hour it happened to, and they said, you got a short haircut, Ron Paul sticker, you may be terrorist. The whole Homeland Security system set up for we the people, lying to the good old boys, telling folks it was for Al-Qaeda. So you cover this in the film Camp FEMA, William. It's just amazing. Continue.
Yeah, I mean, it's very up to date. People will notice news clips and things in this documentary that may only be a week or two old simply because, you know, as we were finishing up the documentary, there were several things that broke. The Hal Turner story, for instance, where we were lucky enough to be able to get that in there so that we could show people that the COINTEL operations from the 1950s, 60s, and 70s never really ended. They were just continued under different names. And, the Glenn Beck segment, I don't know if you really got a chance to see that or not, but I don't think it was in the first edit that we